Hey guys, Joel Frank here, market analyst for YouTrading, and today we're taking a look at the US dollar because it's been surging. We've had some very important news in the last 24 hours. US President Biden has officially renominated the current chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. Powell has been renominated for a second term. Now, this was a key source of uncertainty in markets for the last couple of weeks. But now we know Powell is going to be the next chairman of the Fed. It seems very unlikely that the Senate won't approve his nomination because Powell is actually a Republican, but he will get support from Republicans, but he's also widely supported by moderate Democrats. There will be some very progressive Democrats that don't vote for him, but like I say, enough Republicans will easily vote in favor of him in the Senate. So his nomination is seen as pretty much a certainty. Brainard, who was seen as the main contender to Powell's position, has been nominated to the vice chairman role. So, I mean, she was already a very, very important person at the Fed, but even more so now. And then there's a couple of more governor positions to be filled, and Biden says he's going to make those decisions, including on the vice chairman of supervision of the banking sector. Those decisions are going to be made in December. So this theme of who's on the Fed isn't over just yet, but we know that Chairman Powell has been renominated. So anyway, enough about the news. How did markets react to the news of Powell's renomination? Well, let's take a look at the US dollar. As you can see, it was these candlesticks here. The dollar pushed higher. Bond yields pushed higher as well, led by a surge in real yields. So really what you did see was a hawkish market reaction, which is why the dollar was able to push back above that previous year 16-month high, actually, in the 96.20s. We then managed to print fresh year-to-date and 16-month highs in the 96.50s, and now we're sort of consolidating just below that. Why was it a hawkish market reaction? Well, Brainard is basically an unwind of the dovish risk that Brainard was going to be nominated as Fed chair. She is seen as more dovish. A Fed under Brainard would have likely held rates lower for longer, put more emphasis on the labour market recovery as opposed to controlling inflation. Although, to be fair, in Brainard's speech after her nomination as the vice chair, she sounded like she was prioritising inflation. But anyway, there was an unwind of that dovish Brainard risk. It's not really to do with the fact that Powell is hawkish. Although money markets are now betting on as many as 3 rate hikes from the Fed next year, with the first one coming as soon as June. So markets are betting on a more hawkish Fed as a result. So that's why we're seeing the dollar move higher. Now, let's zoom out a little bit because there are a few technical points that I want to make here. So we did break out, but then you can see there's a 50% Fibonacci here that we run into that we haven't been able to yet break above. That's an important Fibo. I've got it zoomed out here. You can see that is the 50% retracement from the March 2020 high all the way to the early January 2021 low. So we've now retraced 50% nearly of the move back to that high from last year. Important fib level, obviously. Now, with the Fed looking like it's going to be more hawkish in the coming months, it does seem likely that the dollar is going to continue to strengthen, especially if we see renewed weakness in the Eurozone economy because of the reimposition of pandemic-related restrictions. And especially if we see US yields continue to push higher, which obviously weighs heavily on the yen. The yen and the euro, the most two important constituents of the Dixie, or the euro-dollar, dollar-yen crosses, the two most important constituents of the Dixie. So it does seem likely we're going to continue to push higher. So a break above this 50% fib would open the door to technical buying that would take us, well, the next stop would be resistance around 97, sort of 65, 70. Those are those highs from June, July last year. And then you got the 61.8% fib That's just above 98. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.